Namaste, everybody, and happy Tuesday from the land of the United States of America. And happy whatever day it is that you're watching this, because whatever day that you're drawn to anything, like I always say, it is the day for you to watch it. So, for those that don't know, the higher realm, we are domiciled in Sarasota, Florida, Siesta Key. And I first want to put out a big thank you for everybody that joined me for the online guided visual meditations to protect our lands, to bring in Archangel Michael, White Eagle and the tribes, all of the healers, the angels. We did such miraculous work. And indeed, we did put a dome around Sarasota and we were so protected. That's not to say that we didn't still have, storms, but the fact that the media were presenting category 5 catastrophic damage, thousands of lives lost, and that did not happen. So I do want to say that this was, I don't want to say a miracle, but yes, a miracle, because we do miracles every single day. And I think there has been a lot of people that have forgotten their power. But when we all sync up together into that God consciousness, we are more powerful than anything. And that is what we did this past week. So thank you to everybody that joined me. I did want to address the storms, the hurricanes, and all of that, because as I sat with it the last few days and meditated with my guides, there was a lot of stuff that was being shown to me. So for those that do live in Sarasota or Siesta Key, many are aware that there is a Stargate on Siesta Key. Also, the sand here in Siesta Key is 99.9% crystallized quartz. And the only other place that was known to have that was Atlantis. So there is an area of Atlantis that is off of Siesta Key Beach. So when the explosion happened, a lot of that sand landed on Siesta Key Beach. That's why it's the only beach in the world that has that. As we know, Atlantis was very big, so there are different areas of Atlantis that are around other places, but we are very lucky to have that here. So there's a lot of light workers, a lot of healers, a lot of people in this, I want to say, arena who are very awakened, and they're all being drawn here to Sarasota. They're being drawn to Siesta Key. So I really want you to think of all of those people that are suddenly getting drawn here. I'm talking from some of the most beautiful places, from Malibu, California, from Santa Monica, from amazing places in upstate New York, from all over, not just America, but also from the UK, from Russia, from all over. They're all coming here. So we have a Stargate. There is a portal there on Siesta Key. There is this energy in Sarasota that is very heightened. And the first time I ever came into Sarasota, I was like, this feels like Sedona at the beach. So I'd spent a lot of time in Sedona, living in LA, and it felt like Sedona at the beach. But I could feel instantly the energy was different. The energy is very heightened here. And because there is a Stargate here, there's a lot of work being done here for humanity. So because of that, think of any portal that's got a lot of light beings flocking to and doing a magnitude of work for humanity. That is going to get attacked. It's going to get attacked. It's just going to get attacked. The places where people are very much stuck in the 3D, that don't really have a lot of awareness about what's happening, about this earth split that's happening. Not a lot happens there. But the ones that there's places like this, we are going to get attacked. It's the same as, I don't even know if I can say it online, but Iraq, there's a Stargate there. So there's certain Stargates, and there's a lot of heightened energy, a lot of powerful energy, and that can very much be a bullseye for the other energy. So, having said that, we are in Sarasota going to take some hits. It's going to happen. I want you to think of this as you're moving from the 3D, because remember, the third dimensional Earth is no longer existing. There's kind of people like hanging on to that, but all of that is connected to the identity and the ego. If you're still functioning from that place of identity, that place of ego, you're going to get stuck in that third dimensional earth. The tunnel of 4D is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because there's a lot of stuff. And remember, the stages of awakening, you have to go through the stages of awakening from 3D into the 5D. You have to. There is no avoiding it. Otherwise, you can choose to stay in the 3D, which is fine. But if you want to move through into this new earth, into this new fifth dimension, you're going to have to go through those stages. You're going to have to go in that tunnel and move through those stages. So right now, there is this massive upgrade that's happening on planet Earth. There's been a lot of solar flares that have been hitting. There's been a lot of energy surges. And whenever that happens, meaning like so much light is being sent here. I was about to say flown here, but that's true. So much light is pouring in. Then the dark has to rise at the same time, because we live in a world of balance, of the yin and yang, of the duality, of the polarity. So as the light lifts, the dark is going to lift too. The thing is, we don't have to focus and give attention to the dark, but the light is where we're at. So right now, as we're doing all of this work, we're going to, in essence, put ourselves energetically in the line of fire. We're going to take some hits. I want you to think of this in terms of a personal journey. So if you are beginning to wake up to everything, beginning to realize that the world is not what we were told it was, and there was a lot of lies that were spoon-fed to us, and we are these unbelievable light beings, these powerful beings, and when we restore that light, when we step back into that, and we realign ourselves and join with the collective, we literally can do anything. As soon as that starts to happen, there's going to be bumps in the road, because you're going to recognize personalities around you that are still stuck in that identity. Like it's still like, no, I have to have this, and everything is about the ego, the ego, the ego. And you're going to start to say, I don't really want to be around that anymore. Also, blame is a big part of it. Victimhood is a big part of it. A lot of the low tone emotions and frequencies, that's very connected to the third dimension. So as you're moving through that yourself, I want you to think of that on a collective scale now. That's what's happening. So especially in areas like this where there's a lot of light workers and energy, this is going to happen. We're going to get hits. We're going to take the hits. But the beauty of this is when you know that you don't have to consent to that, you don't have to contract with that and go into agreement with it, it has no power over you. It has no power over you. And if any of you ever saw Labyrinth, the movie, great movie, by the way, there's a scene at the very end where the lead female is facing the dark wizard who's controlling everything. And she literally says, "You have no power over me." And as soon as she says that, the entire matrix falls apart. It just falls apart. So this is a really important time for us to recognize and start to realize that the energy out there, what is happening out there, the controllers at the top, they have no power over you. They have no power over you. Does that mean that things aren't going to hit? Of course not. It's like in your everyday life. Are bumps going to arise? Of course they are. The road to awakening is not easy. It's not easy. It's so much easier to be asleep. It's so much easier. It's easier to be naive, to think that the government is good. It's easier to think that all of what you have been fed your whole life is true. It really is. Because if you stay asleep, you can just kind of go along with your life. It's not to say life's always going to be easy, but it's harder to wake up. It's harder to wake up, and not just wake up on the physical scale of recognizing so much, but it's also hard to wake up to knowing that everything that you ever wanted your entire life, you already have. You already have. It's not easy to recognize that. To realize that you were programmed and you came here with software inside of you that you already were everything. You were literally equal to everything. There is nothing outside of yourself, period. Nothing. And nothing outside of yourself can actually hurt you. It can't. No one can hurt you. No things can, it can't. Because if there's no such thing as death, if you're an eternal being, you are forever. And you're going to outlive all of this anyway, in this body at this time. You're never going to wear this body again. This is only life. You're wearing this body and going by this name. But if you are eternal and you're going to live through all of this, there is nothing exterior that has any power over you. It only has power if you go into agreement with it, if you consent to it. If you don't do that and you begin to gradually take your power back, no blame, no victimhood. And also, I mean, the Don Miguel Ruiz is amazing, and I've talked about this before, but don't take anything personally and never make assumptions, because every single person is living in their own reality, their own dream. But the power lies when you all sync up like wireless routers and go, no, this is what we're going to do. We're going to bring peace back. We're going to bring love back. We're going to bring our power back. There's literally nothing that can harm you. So at this time of these hurricanes, it was a purge. It was a purge. Was it an attack? Of course it was. Of course it was. I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't. Of course it was. When you get sick physically, when your body gets sick, it's because, well, physically there's an overload of toxins in your body. So your body needs to express itself and release all those exosomes, right? So that's what happens when you get sick. But you have to remember, if you're a light worker and you're receiving upgrades and you're doing all of this work, the only way that your system can make room for the new is if you purge the old. It's the only way. You should get sick when you're doing this work. You should. When I did my Egypt retreat in February and I came back, I couldn't believe how much I purged for an entire week because of all of the upgrades and everything I'd received on that sabbatical. My body had to release the old. It had to release the old data, the old software, all of the old programs that were running. It had to, in order for me to update. Think about it. When you go to update your computer, you can only update if you have enough memory, right? And if not, you have to delete a whole bunch of stuff. So something like this, think about the place, Sarasota, Siesta Key, all of these divine light beings coming here, working together, doing all of this work. That is so much energy, so much energy. And yes, you're going to get attacked, but also it's a purge. We have to clean all of the old debris out. And are we not doing that? Are we not cleaning out all of the old, letting all of that go? All of the old programs, software, all of that, patterns, everything we've been running on is now gone. It was a purge. And now we've cleaned the slate for all of the new upgrades to come in. That means we're about to jump up such a high notch on this path of awakening that the power that's going to be restored to many is going to be off the charts. This is energy work. It's all energy. So no, when you are doing this work and you're getting sick, it's okay. You got to purge the old to bring in the new, period. Same as when you're cleaning out your closet. Very simple, physical terms, same thing. You bought all these new clothes, high vibrational clothing, linen and cotton only. You got all the linen and cotton because high vibrational clothing has a frequency that makes a difference on your body. So you bought all this new high vibrational clothing. Now you got to clean that closet out and your room's going to look like a disaster, right? Purge to bring in the new for the upgrades. This means if you are watching this, if you are listening to this, you are doing the work. You are doing the work. And yes, attacks are going to come. That's fine. We're going to keep on anchoring in. We're going to keep on protecting the lands. And we're going to allow the purge. Surrendering to it is a beautiful thing. But knowing that you are powerful, but in the moment saying, okay, if you need to go, go. If you want to go to Miami, if you want to drive somewhere else, go. That's okay. But continue to do the work. Don't get into fear, into panic, into worry. That's what they want. They feed off of that. That's like plugging yourself into a vampire and saying, drain me. It's okay. Drain me. They want the low tone, the low vibration. You have to keep the vibration up. That's why you sync up with so many and allow them to empower you, as you're allowing me to empower you today. So remember, this is a very, very important time right now, especially on this earth. There's a lot of upgrades coming in. There's a lot of energy coming in. There's a lot of light coming in. There's a lot of work being done. Go easy on yourself. Don't overdo it. Just know that everything right now is purging. The debris will all be cleaned up. It always is. And in the perfect time, you will step back up and everything will be back in balance, in harmony, and in peace. Until the next one. Welcome to Earth. This is Earth School, and this is what you signed up for. You've got this. I love you. Namaste.